not equal to null. Close down the client. Listener.stop. Timer overall progress.stop. Set connection status. Server running equals false. btn start server dot enabled equals true. btn stop server dot enabled equals false. Okay, now we've got our listener, and we've got our server, and we've got our client. So now let's start working on our transfer client callbacks. First, let's go to queued. If invoke required, invoke new transfer event handler. Transfer client queued, sender, and queue. List view item I equals new. List view item I.text equals q.id.toString I.subitems.add q.filename I.subitems.add q.type equals qtype.download So if q.type equals download, then it'll use the string download, or it'll use upload. I.subitems.add 0% I.tag equals q I.name equals q.id.toString list transfers.items.add I and I.ensure visible. If q.type equals qtype.download, then let our connected socket know, or let our client know that we're ready to start this transfer. So go ahead and start it. And the queue. Okay, first let's review what we did. We created a new list view item. We set all of our information. We set the object that can be associated with the list view to our queue, so we can just grab it. We set the name to our queue ID so we can get to our list view easier without looping through it. We add it to our list view, and we make sure that the item is visible. It's not needed, but we just added that. So it'll just keep going down if when new transfers are added. And now in progress changed, if invoke required, now list transfer.items, this is why we set the tag, or we set the name as the ID. ID.toString dot subitems 3.text equals q dot progress plus %. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to loop through the list view and try and compare the tag to our queue. That's all we got to do. Now in disconnect, of course, invoke required. We'll invoke new event handler. Notice we're disconnected. Sender E deregister events. Now for each list view, item in list transfers.items, transfer queue equals transfer queue i.tag, queue.close, list transfers.items.clear, progress overall.value equals 0, transfer client equals null, and transfer client dot actually no, it'll automatically close. Transfer client dot close, set connection status to nothing, and if server running, we'll just wait for another connection. And set connection status waiting. Else btn connect.text equals connect. So if it's the server and it disconnects, it'll just wait for another connection. If it's the client and it disconnects, we set the text box, we set the button to disconnect, and if it does disconnect, we'll set the button to connect again. Now for complete, we will just do system.media.systemsounds.asterisk.play. It will just be a little ding to let us know that a file transferred successfully and it completed. You can also make the back color green if you like, but I'll leave that up to you. Now head over to User Method Selector and find Listener Accepted. If invoke required, invoke new socket accepted event handler, socket accepted handler, listener accepted, sender in E, listener.stop, transfer client equals new transfer client, E.accepted, transfer client.output folder equals output folder, register events, transfer client.run, and timer overall progress.start. Set connection status, transfer client.endpoint.address.toString. And in overall progress, if transfer client equals null, just return. Progress overall.value equals transfer client.get overall progress. And I forgot about this one. If now go to transfer client stopped. If invoke required, return, and invoke new transfer event handler, sender in queue, list transfers.items, queue.id.toString, .remove. So if it's stopped, it'll just remove it from the list view since we don't need to see it anymore. And I did not even notice. Let's go back to disconnected. And instead of I, make it item.